When that course ad showed up in my feed, I clicked into it without thinking much. AI Masterclass, 30 days, 20 minutes a day. I scrolled down the page, number of people enrolled, 5-star reviews, and the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 things you'd master by the end. I paused at enroll now, and then closed it. Not because I didn't want to learn, because I suddenly couldn't remember the last time I genuinely felt I finished learning this. Not, I could still go deeper into this, not, I roughly understand it now. But the real feeling of completion, this thing now belongs to me. I thought about it for a long time. I couldn't remember. But that feeling isn't non-existent. The moment a song ends, you know it's over. Not because it stopped, but because it arrived exactly where it was supposed to. That last chord lands, and suddenly everything before it takes shape becomes one complete thing. Only after a relationship has truly ended can you actually walk out of it. Not the day you separated, the day something inside you actually closed. Before that, it's still a loose pile of things with no boundary, no weight, something you can't set down and can't carry away either. Only after a project is truly finished can you actually see what it was. While it's underway, it's just a pile of to-dos. The moment it's done, it becomes a thing. These moments all share something in common. The ending doesn't destroy anything. The ending is what makes the thing truly exist. Without that ending, it just stays scattered, forever a half-finished thing, forever something you could still keep going on. But it will never become a whole thing, a thing that genuinely belongs to you. Then I started wondering when I'd last felt that way about learning something. It happened back in school. The day I learned to ride a bike. I could do it, that was over, it became part of me. Once I'd memorized a poem, that poem was mine. Once I learned to swim, that afternoon ended, and I became a person who could swim. But at some point, without my noticing when, the logic of learning changed. It's no longer learning to do something. It's staying in a state of learning. No longer completion, but continuation. English has to be practiced forever. Skills have to be constantly updated. You have to keep pace with your industry at all times. Your thinking has to be continuously upgraded. There's always a new course, a new reading list, a new framework, a new methodology. As soon as you finish one, the next is already waiting. I thought this was my own choice, my own passion for knowledge, but that feeling of you're never enough, you always need updating, that doesn't feel like passion. It feels more like a low, persistent anxiety, a background color I never actively chose, but that was already there. This state of never being finished fits naturally with the logic of the entire modern labor market. What the market needs isn't a person who has genuinely finished something. It's a person who can be retrained at any moment. Eternal malleability, always updatable, always in a state of learning. For the individual, this is anxiety. For the system, it's the perfect asset. Lifelong learning, as a slogan, gets reinforced everywhere. In schools, in workplace discourse, on your social feed, in every piece of content pushed to you every day, until it becomes self-evident, becomes a virtue, becomes the standard you use to judge whether you're good enough. No one is deceiving you. This logic simply happens to be in tune with the entire structure, so it keeps getting amplified, and before you notice, it becomes your default setting. Mastery, in the traditional sense, an apprentice finishing their training, reaching a kind of inner completeness in some domain, genuinely possessing a craft, barely has a context left to exist in today. That state sounds like it means you've stopped growing, like you're being conservative, like you're not ambitious enough. But what it originally meant was, you now truly possess this thing, it's yours, and you can move forward from this complete place. It's been a long time since we've felt that. The structure of information itself works the same way. A story generates meaning because it has an ending. The ending gathers up all the scattered events that came before into a whole, and suddenly they have direction, have weight, become a thing that can be remembered. When you walk out of a movie theatre after a film ends, whatever that ending left inside you, it left it precisely because it was an ending. But when did you last scroll a timeline all the way to the end? Never. A timeline has no end. A feed has no conclusion. Today's big news gets buried under tomorrow's big news, and no single point is ever a true full stop. Everything is just a prelude to more content. There's always a next one, and you can always keep scrolling. The volume of information keeps increasing, but something is being diluted. And what's being diluted is precisely the thing that turns information into meaning. I'm not saying don't learn. I'm not saying scrolling your phone is a sin. What I'm saying is, Next time a course ad shows up in your feed, notice the force that's pushing you to click. Is it genuine curiosity, or is it that feeling of I'm not enough? Can you actually tell the two apart?